A publicity stunt, nothing more. What will this promise from the Texas governor actually accomplish?
You know, I wish it was only a publicity stunt. She doesn't understand the reality or doesn't care about the reality of what's happening on the Texas border and then ultimately what's happening to all of our states, because really every state is a border state now.
Last one on this. Now that the Texas governor is saying that he's going to start busing border crossers to Washington, D.C., when they get here, are you guys going to help them find a place to stay and something for them to do?
Well, I'm not aware of what authority the governor would be doing that under. I think it's pretty clear this is a publicity stunt. His own office admits that a migrant would need to voluntarily be transported, and then he can't compel them to, because, again, enforcement of our country's immigration laws lies with the federal government, not a state.
Washington, D.C.?
Well, listen, I don't know, but I know that the governor of Texas or any state does not have the legal authority to compel anyone to get on a bus.
Does the Texas governor, do you have that power? If not, how do you accomplish this promise?
And we have this case called U.S. v. Arizona, which I think was decided wrongly. So in that case, they basically told Arizona, back in the Obama administration, that they couldn't pass laws to protect their citizens when the federal government was not enforcing their own laws. I think that was wrongly decided. So I'd encourage the governor to force people to be sent out of our state and make the federal government sue us, take that back to the U.S. Supreme Court and say, look, you have to allow states, governors like Governor Abbott, who cares about his people, to protect his people from the federal government who won't protect the border and won't protect the people of our state.
If businesses or contractors are dumping people who are illegal into Florida from southern Texas, we're going to go after their ability to do business in Florida. If Biden is dumping people, which he has dumped people, they fly them in at 2 in the morning. They haven't done it lately, but they did it many months ago. We now have money where we can reroute them to sanctuary states like Delaware, and we're going to do that to make sure that we're keeping this state here.
I've got to believe this state has to be so proud of you. I know personally I am, as I've gotten to know you, and proud to call you friend, Gov. To kidnap an elected leader and the failure to condemn these folks is stunning from the outset. I remember, it matters. You've heard me say it before, words matter. And the words of a president particularly matter. When the president tweeted, "Liberate Michigan," liberate Michigan, that's the call that was heard. That was the dog whistle.
Following up on the smartphones that are being given to border crossers with technology so they can be tracked or so they can check in, is there any plan to give free smartphones to U.S. citizens that want them?
Should we not be tracking migrants who irregularly cross the border?
I'm asking if...
Or do you have an alternative suggestion for how they should be tracked?
I, unfortunately, have not been asked to make U.S. immigration policy. That's not
Today's your moment.
Well, it'd be great if anybody that wanted a free phone and a free monthly plan could get one. So is that going to be an offer for everybody or just people that walk into the country illegally?
Well, Peter, as when we talked about this the other day, what I noted to you is that we have a range of means of tracking individuals who irregularly migrate to the country.
Government authority, why not send the illegal immigrants back across the southern border? Why instead of sending them to Washington, D.C., why not take on the authority of deporting illegal immigrants?
Look, I think the governor's tried to do that. He's tried to round up people who he have been transported around the state and send them back. We actually are in a lawsuit about that right now. So he's made that attempt. This is another attempt to send a message to the federal government. I think it's a reasonable argument. Hey, look, if you're not going to let us deport these people, if we don't have the authority to do that, and we're in the middle of a litigation over that right now to see if we do, then why not send them to the doorstep of Joe Biden and let him take care of the problem since he's creating it.
On this, does the president have any plans to figure out what these small towns who are bracing for a major influx in migrants next month need by making his first ever trip to the border?
I have nothing to predict for you in terms of additional trips. The president will be traveling the country, but I don't have any more specific.
Joe Biden has refused to come to the border to see the chaos that he has created by his open border policies. So we're going to take the border to him by transporting the people that he is dropping off in these local communities in the state of Texas and sending them to Washington by plane or by bus. What's happening is there's an increased number of people coming across the border that the federal government, are processing and then letting loose. And what has been happening so far is those people will be getting on buses and going to San Antonio or Houston or other places like that. And so I think they just need longer bus rides.
You guys are starting to give smartphones to border crossers, hoping that they'll use the phones to check in or to be tracked. Which part of that is supposed to deter people from crossing illegally into the states?
Well, take steps to ensure that we know where individuals are and we can track and we can check in with them.
These migrants will take the phones and just toss them. And then,
Do you have a record of people throwing phones away?
I'm just asking if that's a concern.
Our concern is ensuring that individuals who irregularly migrate to the United States proceed through in hearings to determine whether or not they will be able to stay. I would note that
there were multiple communities in the Rio Grande Valley that have been in communication with their office asking us to provide buses for them, maybe even planes to provide for them for the movement of these migrants. Listen, these migrants, once they come across, it's not as if they want to stay down there in the Rio Grande Valley. They're moving across the entire country. As they move across the entire country, what better place for them to go to than the steps of the United States Capitol? They get to see the wonderful Capitol, but also get closer to the people who are making these policies that are allowing people to come across the border illegally.